Hotepu, everyone. This is His Majesty Ra Sumabathagbemi, the world's first openly black gay king. And the king's role is to nourish and protect his people. And today I wish to discuss with you a theme of common interest in the news, which is Cardi B. I find her a very fascinating character in the arts. So I was drawn instinctively to do a very quick reading on her. And I wish to share this reading with her, with the world, to show everyone how Kamal astrology actually works. Cardi B, like each person listening to this podcast or to this video, is the embodiment of a certain archetype, a certain energy. Some people who are athletic and executive and alphas are what we call the warrior archetype. Some people who are nurturing and mothering and tender and sensitive and homebodies are called the maternal archetype. We would call the warrior in our system Herukohuti or Mahus. We would call the maternal mothering types Ast. You may know her as Isis. So each of you are compelled by a dominant personality trait, a dominant archetype or pattern of personality. So Cardi B is no different. So as I watched her through the news here and there, I noticed certain traits about her that I recognized from ancient Kamat, ancient Egypt. Here we have, of course, Cardi B, and here we have a god called Bes. The more I watched Cardi B, the more of the Bes archetype I saw in her. For example, Bes was a comedian. Cardi B is hysterical. Bes is a war god. Cardi B is not to be toyed with. Bes is a god of harps, lutes, tambourines, dance, and music. Cardi B is a musician and artist. Perhaps the most striking correlate between Cardi B and Bes is in this picture you see. Cardi B is famous for sticking her tongue out. And here you can perhaps barely make it out, but there's a picture of this, the god Bes, about 3,000 years ago carved in ancient Egypt. And he's very often shown with his tongue sticking out, you see here. Okay? He is a lion god, like a lion dwarf god. She's like a female lion, she's a lioness. She's petite. Bes was a dwarf, a petite person. So the traits between Cardi and Bes are incontrovertible. She really is the embodiment of modern times, of the archetype we call Bes. Now, Bes also means to initiate, to burn. The word Bes or Besa means to initiate, to teach a student, to enlighten, or to burn, or to give someone light. And since Bes is a dwarf and is shown as kind of a quirky, a bit malformed Neteru god, when someone is strong with Bes, they tend to be rather short by stature. But Bes being a kind of odd-looking divine force means he likes people who are not typical, people who are not mainstream. There's something different, unique, a bit odd about them. He tends to favor those kinds of people. And he's quite wild, and Cardi B is quite wild. He's often shown here, you may make out a small panther's face. He's a vicious, vicious god. And interestingly, he's also the god of children, pregnant women, and family life. He protects children, he protects women during pregnancy and birth, and he's the protector of the family life. Often in ancient Egypt, they would carve on their headboards this figure of Bes to protect the married couple. He's a god of fertility, of sex, of sexual play. She was a stripper. She's proud of it. Bes would be proud. He would not be ashamed of himself. He is what he is. Short, funny looking, strange, odd, but that's who I am, and deal with it. So her kind of directness and honesty and bluntness are all classic Bes traits. So she is the living, walking version in the media world right now as the best embodiment of Bes, this ancient, ancient African god from Egypt. Now into the future about Cardi B and her reading. Cardi B is a leader, clearly. She will, as she grows as a woman and as a performer, come to realize that she was chosen by God with a special chalice, a special cup. She is to bring, it's like a golden chalice, the Holy Grail, this kind of sacred vessel, the sacred cup idea surrounds her chart. And she is the message of a new approach to two things: to developing talent in the industry. She's going to form a kind of music conglomerate, her own music company, where she is going to embrace the thrown away people, the people that are put on the fringes. She's going to bring in very creative young artists who are really quirky, really odd, really strange, and brilliant in their own way. She's going to give them a voice, give them training, give them opportunity. She's really a mogul. She is the center of gravity. She's like the sun, and the planets surround her. She's going to become like a little Oprah in the music, or great Oprah, I should say, in the music industry. One key thing about her company that she's going to make herself renowned for is the maternal care, how she deals with her teams and her employees' family issues, their maternal leave issues. She's going to rewrite the books on how to run a company with the most superlative care of family in company, mothers in company, and making sure that those values are very, very respected and nourished in her business. She's going to also do something. She's going to work with people in technology, developing some kind of new technology. It may be in the visual side, like videos or screen or YouTube, or it may be in the music side. But she's definitely destined to do some kind of IT, intellectual technology development that will be one of her greatest legacies. What's interesting about her reading is that she actually is very, very smart, like intellectually smart, not just street smart. And she's going to be very busy, business savvy in developing technologies, hardcore Silicon Valley, quote unquote, type technology that she will trademark and basically bankroll her empire. Okay? So she's also a very cultural woman, and she's going to do some work with the old gods, the old teaching. She may go to foreign countries, speak on behalf of indigenous people. She may go into studying ancient cultures. There's a lot in her chart about maps, traveling and maps. There's something in her destiny about traveling the world. She likes maps, and she likes the idea of travel. She may be a voice for the oppressed indigenous people around the world and giving them perhaps opportunities that they don't have, giving them the access to the arts that they don't have. And this is going to be part of her key legacy. So right now she's building herself up, but soon she'll build up many others because she is a gravity center around which many particles will amass themselves. When she makes her company, she should follow astrology with it. She really needs to follow indigenous techniques, astrology, to help guide and maintain the morality of her team, of its players, and of her mission statement values. Of course, Kamal astrology, Kemetic astrology, is the best astrology in the world. So that's our prediction for Lady Bess, Bess in the modern worldly arts. She's adored like Bess was. Bess was the longest lived Egyptian god past the destruction of Egypt. Bess was still alive in Christianity Europe for many, many hundreds of years. And now he's back, coming through the irrepressible and delightful Cardi B. I pray you enjoyed this. Look forward to more classes on astrology, Dwao, and Hotepu.